Hello everyone, and it is Friday now. The voting is over, and you guys, as I had hoped you would, picked for me to play Victoria 2. Now let me just go over the results of the election before I get into explaining some of the factions in this game. Now, 35 out of 49 people voted for Victoria 2, so that was almost 70%. And thanks for following my suggestion, those of you that didn't really know what the game was about so much. Having trusted me, I guess that was good. Um, but anyway, where am I going with this? We're gonna need to pick a country because depending on which country we pick, there's gonna be a huge variation in type of gameplay we're gonna see. And this game starts on the 1st of January 1836 and goes to, I think, the end of 1935. So, as you can see, we've got the whole world here. Some areas, especially Africa, remain uncolonized. But pretty much, we've got nearly every country. A lot of people have said that, well, actually, on the elections, before I get to explaining factions, on the elections, some of the people really weren't listening when I said that I'm going to move on my next campaign if we don't. After we didn't vote to do the French campaign anymore, I said we're going to move on from a Total War game. Some people still voted for Total War games, so you guys weren't paying attention. Shame on you. Well, that was only a few people, but anyway, let's just get to explaining some of the major factions here. The strongest faction in the game is Britain, and a lot of people have said they didn't want me to be Britain, and I can understand that. Britain is, first in two categories and second in military. So they can basically sort of steamroll over a lot of the smaller countries, and then, with the help of a few allies, take out China, #1 military power, and they basically just can trample anyone. France is #2, just like Britain, but less powerful. Then we have Russia, the huge continental power here that also has some of Alaska at this time. And Austria, United States, Prussia, which will unite Germany as their goal. Ottoman Empire, which is in decline, and Egypt controls lots of the Middle East at this point. Spain, and the way the countries are divided in this game is the top 8 scores make up the great powers. The next 8 make up secondary powers. Below them are just the civilized nations that aren't part of the powers. And then below them are the uncivilized nations. So, just to give you an idea, all of these nations are civilized, all the European ones. See, Morocco isn't, Algeria isn't, Tunis isn't, Tripoli isn't, Egypt isn't. So a lot of the, countries that are, haven't been in contact with too many Europeans. Well, I guess some of the Indian ones have, but a lot aren't. A lot are uncivilized still. These are actually civilized, but China is uncivilized, and if we look at South America, they're all civilized. Now, when you're choosing a faction, and the way we're going to vote is just put it in the comments. I'm not doing a poll this time. Please also, when you're voting, look at what the previous comments were and try to base your vote off of those, because I don't want to get a bunch votes all spread out over the different countries with each country having one vote, because that's really annoying. So try to collect your votes on a few countries. But anyway, here's some bad ideas that I really don't want to play as, which may seem like good ideas, but they're really not. Texas is a very bad idea. It's like playing as Ethiopia in Hearts of Iron 3. Tripoli is also a bad idea for the same reason. They both start out at war with someone much more powerful than them. Many of the uncivilized nations are also bad ideas because they can sort of just get to the point where they're never going to progress fast enough to catch up with anyone. Egypt maybe is not part of that, but I mean countries like Nejd and maybe it's, I don't know how to pronounce that. Najid would make, okay, whatever. Yemen and Oman, are not really going to be able to catch up with major powers, so don't choose them. It's a bad idea. China is a little bit different, because China is the most powerful uncivilized nation in the game, so I might be okay playing China. The problem is, their economy really won't be able to keep up with anyone else's until they westernize, and a coalition of Europeans with their navies blockading the coast could really be a problem. Also, they're bordering Russia and Britain. Actually, they don't border Britain yet, but Britain takes out a lot of Burma pretty early in the game, usually. What else is there? In the Americas, Mexico is actually a pretty strong power. At the start of the game, they have the 7th strongest army. America has the 19th. So they're actually the strongest strongest American power at all. And they're going to quickly take over Texas and then struggle with the United States for control of the unclaimed territories. United States is more industrialized, but doesn't have the military in the beginning. They're going to have to fight the Civil War also. South America might seem like a good place, but I don't really like playing in South American countries because if we look at their populations, they're not very densely populated. Wait, these are Europeans, never mind. But like Brazil, huge country, only 1.5 million people, and the problem with that is it's really hard to just outproduce people when you have that. Like, wrong way. The population of China is over 100 million, and really the land area isn't that much bigger, which allows them to farm more effectively and produce more, even though they're similarly sized. So size isn't everything. What else is there? You can see that Britain owns, still owns Canada and Australia down there. And I've tried setting them to be satellite states and playing as them, but it's really not that fun, so I'm not going to do that in this campaign. We also have what I think might be a good idea, the secondary powers, or even civilized nations that aren't quite that good. Like, let's see, Portugal is a secondary power, yeah. All the Italians, actually not all of them are secondary, but like Sardinia is, Two Sicilies is, and another bad thing to play as is things like Hanover, which you can't see it here, but is a satellite of the United Kingdom. Serbia, Wallachia, and Moldavia are all also bad choices. So anyway, please comment and vote on what you think a good choice would be. I would be okay, I guess, doing a South American country. I don't know. Please not one of these little ones, but maybe Brazil or something. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing this campaign. There's no definite period as to when the voting will end, but just when it's clear that there's one winner, I guess, maybe. So anyway, vote, and thanks for watching. Hope I can start this soon. So, see you whenever that is.